So my name is Stephen Clancy from Ireland, and I was diagnosed with diabetes at 19 years of age. I'd always grown up doing sports with the family, rugby, surfing, you name it. And I was cycling at the time. And unfortunately, the local, diabetes experts, they call themselves, they told me on day one, you can probably just ride a mile and it's going to be near impossible to pursue a career in cycling. But yeah, thankfully the team existed at the time, and I'd reached out to them for support, and they motivated me to overcome the obstacle. And 9 years later, here we are with the pro team, and no looking back. It was good.
Still rolling.
Still rolling. Slowly, but rolling.
Yeah. I'm Kamstra from the Netherlands. I am diagnosed when I was 18 years old, so that's 10 years ago. Used to be a runner, switched to cycling because a former teammate of us was almost a neighbor, so that's how I joined the team.
Right. I'm Hamish Beadle from New Zealand, 23 years old, and I was diagnosed when I was 3 years old, so pretty early on. Your classic kind of symptoms, I guess, and the parents kind of said, right, well, let's go check it out at the local hospital, and doctor kind of said, well, you've got type 1 diabetes, and it was a pretty quick turnaround, about a week in the hospital, and parents are getting taught how to give me the syringes and dialing all it up, and so I don't really remember much of it, but that's about it.
Sure. I mean, when I was diagnosed and I was told diabetes is one of the most difficult conditions to manage, and cycling is one of the most difficult sports out there, good luck. Find something new. It was super depressing. I was crying, but thankfully it was only for 24 hours till I ordered Phil's autobiography and reached out to the team, and was already wanted to prove them wrong. So 6 months later, when I got invited to the development team, and soon after gave up my university studies, my job in the bike shop, and signed a pro contract, it was like I showed them sort of thing, It was a bit of a hard 6 months, a learning process, steep learning curve, all the things you need to do differently, but now it's not so bad, and just being on the pro team is kind of like a dream come true. And like they say, every cloud is a silver lining. I think it kind of just fast-tracked my path to the pro rank. So it's awesome to be here now.
And also your doctors from the past, maybe they realize hey, there's something possible. So the next
for sure now
generation
I've been back in the clinic,
possible,
and it's actually they tell the patients about the team now, which is a complete turnaround for the better.
But we were basically the same age almost when we got diagnosed. I was running at the time, and then on a high level, and then I got diabetes, and there was nobody that could actually educate me or help me with it, except a former teammate.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you can maybe come to training camp and then, learn a lot about it with the team. And that was basically my help. That's how I start to understand, because I was doing everything myself, and I actually had a doctor that didn't say nothing was possible, but actually said I have no idea how it goes with sport. And for me that was strange, but in the end I was happy that he didn't put in my head stop sport or live a normal life. So I think now I see this doctor often and help him actually to understand also well, I have this and this problems I have, and it helps him too. He gets kids that they want to cycle or run or whatever sport, and he's like, oh, I have this guy that came here when he was diagnosed and is now a professional cyclist, and that's for him also something to give to the kids, so a bit of hope. And
I think for me it was kind of, I was pretty lucky, because I couldn't remember anything, but my parents were never told that I couldn't do anything, blah blah blah. They just said, look, it is what it is. You can lead a normal life, and I was pretty lucky to have the parents I do, because we were like you, surfing, kayaking, rock climbing, running, cycling from since I could walk.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was just a natural progression through kind of school and all that. And then, yeah, there was just nothing. No doctors ever said to me, you know, that this isn't possible. So I was very lucky.
Mm.
So when I was first diagnosed, maybe, I don't know about you guys, but I was on the syringes, mum and dad.
Never had that.
2 games, yeah.
Yeah, doing the syringes, and then it was like a big thing when the insulin pens came out. And, you know, like the doctors would, you know, we had big discussions about, oh, you know, they're very high tech, and going from, you know, drawing up
Real injection to like a...
to an insulin pen. It was like,
yeah.
wow, this is something else.
That's I think the most awesome technology they have now, that you have the CGM, and actually in the race you can on a watch or on the computer or whatever, and you can see it straight away. And you can see what's happening with the trend and everything, like is your sugar going down, up, and you can correct it like every moment of the day. And like now you don't make mistakes as you did in races, that you like forgot to eat because you just forgot it, or there's like a period in the race that it goes really, really fast and you have no time. And now the fueling is also better, the nutrition wise, we have really good nutrition that we can use, and it's just like a sip in a bottle with is enough to correct something. But I think the CGM, that's for me is the most, if I knew this back when I got diagnosed.
Even my example was, I'd often go to bed before using a CGM in range. I'd wake up in range. I'm like, sweet.
Yeah.
But then, like the day one, I put a CGM on, my blood sugar was like, poof, big spike. And
so you were in range on the 2 moments that you checked, and the rest
sweet.
Is like,
but the reality is,
8 hours in between.
You're not in great shape, you know. And even like the first CGMs, you'd have to, on the bike, go no hands, open packaging, pull out the test strip and put it in. Then it progressed to one that was on a all-in-one device, and that's like great. And then next minute you have it on your watch or your bike computer. And it just makes life so much easier.
It's just so much data, and you know, you can upload it onto the applications on your computer, and just the amount of data for your, you know, how much you've bolused, your basal rate, your temporary basal rates, and it, you know, all the graphs overlap, and kind of you can say, okay, this is what I did here before the ride, and you know, I did it 3 times this week, so here's the pattern of that.
Personally, I know, at least this year in particular, with my coach, we've started focusing on as well, if I have a terrible night, you know, with the blood sugar levels, be it high, be it low, that's going to impact my training the next day. And my coach has access to that data. She can see the graph overnight to see how good or bad it was. And we make decisions on what training, if it needs to be adjusted or not. And the same with the healthcare team. You know, previously it was maybe you bring in the paper diary of 10 blood sugar finger stick checks a day, and now it's a data point every 5 minutes for 24 hours for the last 3 months. And so in an instant they can make better decisions based on that, be it for managing my diabetes from the healthcare professional point of view, improving my training from the coaching point of view. And for me, it's like almost no work. It's just all happening in the background. Just wear the sensor and it goes to the cloud, and all the people that need to see it, and they can help me out. So it's really helpful.
Yeah, with the amount of data they have, I think it's, for me, sometimes I don't really know how I can use it, but I think it's also important for medical teams, because they know how to process it. Like in the team, we have, of course, medical team, they know what to do with it. With the coaching team, you can show them, okay, tonight I had a really bad night, I had some lows, I feel terrible today, and you can adjust things like nutrition-wise, but you can also change health-wise, insulin intake, etc., but also your training. So it's, for us, like as professional athletes, I think it's really important to have a lot of data that you can share to the people that actually know what to do with it, and then you can come to like the best solution, like, okay, training back off today a bit, with nutrition maybe take a bit of more carbs or less carbs or whatever, and yeah, like medical team can be more aware of,
Yeah.
okay, let's see what we can change with your insulin or whatever.
Times like maybe the first week of using the technology, it's maybe not very beneficial, but when you learn to use it a little bit enough just to help and not completely guide every decision, it's a good balance.
I think personally for me, I love it. You know, like just having all that data at your fingertips, and not only having the data from the diabetes side, but also comparing it with the data from the bike, your heart rate, your power, all that kind of stuff, and correlating them, and then talking to the coaches about it and saying, oh, well, I did 4 sets of 5-minute, strength efforts today, and the adrenaline did this, and my blood sugars spiked on the 3rd effort.
And I felt terrible or something.
Yeah, and Luke, you say, oh, well, okay, next time we'll do this, or you can have an easy day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, you had a bad night's sleep. Just take it easy today. Instead of doing 5 hours, you can do 2.5 or 3. You know, so that kind of being able to not only for me to see it, but for everyone to see it and have it laying out.
Make informed decisions based on
you
the data.
become also more aware, I believe, when you do like what you described, like 4 times 5 sets of strength effort, and you felt horrible and your sugar is bad. You start realizing, okay, next time I'm gonna adjust a bit differently.
Yeah,
I think with a lot of data, it's more a better overview than just this is my blood sugar, this is the amount of insulin. No, there's now so much data that
it's just forever changing.
Yeah. I mean, you can have. It's not only the doctor now, the medical team, coaches, everybody in the team can help you with something.
Now with the CGM data, it's awesome. You go to your endocrinologist, they dial in your CGM data, and in a second they can tell you, oh, you were 64% in range, and oh, your nights are bad, and pretty good and fast metric to see how control is going, you know.
But I think everybody that got diagnosed get a certain, like, this is healthy, above this is high, and then you start doing sports, and for you it's different than for me, and for you also, like, it's, for everybody it's unique. Like, I feel good when I'm a bit lower, you probably feel better when you're a bit higher. Everybody's individual, so it's target range over the years change also, like, it becomes more individual, like, honestly, I feel better when I'm this and this. Like, blood sugar is for me better like this and this, and before a race I like to be a bit higher in my blood sugar, a bit lower to have, it depends, and it becomes more in, like, managing diabetes becomes more and more individual, I believe. It's actually funny when on the team, when they put like the sensors on the people of the staff,
the
non-diabetics, and see what happens. Like, some people experience, my blood sugar goes enormously up with a cup of coffee, because maybe the caffeine and a bit of adrenaline, and when you normally think it goes up with Nutella or something, or some it went up and some nothing really happened, and it's like, why, you know? So you start understanding, oh, not everybody
super individual.
The person is the same. And
when you get the CGMs, it's then you can really pinpoint and be even more aware of what's going on, why it's happening, and how it's happening, rather than just going, oh, I've got a headache, I'm thirsty, I'm paying a lot, what's going on? You know, obviously I'm high, but I don't know how high or how high for. So, and now, you know, it's just that kind of, you don't even have to think about it, you just know. And with the technology, you know, the watches, I've got the insulin pump, and it'll, you know, it knows before me kind of now. So it'll beep alert, vibrate at night. So there it is.
There we go. Right on cue. Like, I kind of know what I need to do, but you don't trust yourself. It's the risk. Whereas if you have confirmation from from something, the technology, that would help.
But we rely more and more on technology. Like, with a pen, you make the decision, you know, and now when we get more towards like an artificial pancreas, like a closed loop system or something, it works for you. The CGM is the first step, and closed loop system is the second step, and I think in 20 years from now, we don't need to do anything anymore.
Yeah, definitely.